Hello, David here, and the project for today is replacing the front struts on the 98 Ford Contour. This is a 2.5 liter V6 with manual transmission, four-wheel disc brakes. First step is I'm going to remove these fasteners that hold the brake hose and the strut mount, and then I'm going to remove the outer tie rod end with a 15mm socket. Note that the stabilizer link also is secured by the anti-lock brake wire. Okay, let's undo that tie rod end. That's a 15mm as well. I'll put the nut on there just because I lose everything, and that way I won't lose it, or if I do lose it, I won't know I left it here. Get that out of the way. I'm going to unplug the anti-lock brake sensor. I'm going to have to move my camera in order to get in there. And the anti-lock brake sensor is 8mm. That's pretty snug in there. I want to finesse it out without breaking it. Sure, it's made out of plastic. Space age plastic. There it is. Get that out of the way. Put that bolt back in there, because I know I'm going to lose that. Next job is to remove the caliper. Okay, there's dust covers right here covering the caliper mounting brackets. So just remove the cap on each one. There's two, one upper and then one lower. Use a T45 Torx socket, put it in there and zip it off. I think I'll have to try an extension. have to use my socket. Oh, sorry about that. Get the bottom one. Okay, let's take that last bolt out of there. Whoops. No room to work in here. Okay, hold on to the caliper. You don't want it to fall down and damage the brake hose. And I got this extra jack stand here to hold up the caliper so the hose doesn't get damaged. I'm not going to have the coils of the strut to use for supporting the caliper, which is my normal operating procedure, so that's why I brought in the jack stand. Just thread that through. And hold it up. Hold it up like that. So it works in theory anyway. Okay, let's zip off this pinch bolt. Might have to knock that with the hammer to get it loose. Well, what did I do with my hammer? Now the Haynes manual says this should slip right out of here, but I've been reading on the AutoZone web page, it said you have to undo the ball joint on the lower control arm to get clearance. So that might be an option. I might be able to get the spring compressor up on a couple of coils here and make some clearance that way. But I think it'd be easier to, if I need more clearance, to compress a couple of coils on the spring. Let's see what happens. Well, that's about the limit that I could get on loosening the steering knuckle from the strut. As you can see, it's not going anywhere. I think what I'm going to do is try taking the connecting nut off the top of the strut. Let me see if I could zip that up. Okay, I got that off. Oh, that wasn't much help. I think I'm going to have to take off this ball joint. That is that's a Torx bit. Let's see if I got something that fits that. Yeah, it looks like it's a size are you, buddy? It's a T55. Okay, I did put that connection nut back on the top of the strut, just to give me more clearance down here and make sure nothing fell. Give it the breaker bar. Oh, there's something on the back turning along with the nut. Let's see what that is. Okay, there's a 19mm nut on the back of this bolt, and they got the breaker bar on that. There we go. Well, this is how I got the ball joint loose. I used the jack with a piece of wood to jack up on the rotor, and then I use the crowbar here to pull down on the control arm. So now you can see the ball joint's loose. And I'll lower the jack, see what happens. Okay, my next step is to get the coil spring off the old strut. It's my replacement part, KYB boot kit. Suspension mount, KYB SM5138. It's going to have the top mount and a bearing in there. Replacement strut is a KYB 235620. So I'm going to start compressing this old spring to take it apart. Well, I got the spring compressed and I got it on the new strut. And still takes still got to press down on the upper coil to get this nut started. But I got it started. Instructions say not to use an impact to tighten it, so I'm going to use a hand wrench to tighten that nut up as much as I can. I got the strut in, hanging from the top by a couple of threads. Next thing I got to do is get it in here, and then I'm going to get the jack under the disc again, raise it up and get it high enough so I can clear the ball joint, get the ball joint put in place. I'm going to have to move the camera to do that. Well, I just could not get it lined up, so I removed the axle nut and I removed the whole steering knuckle, and now I was able to get the strut into the steering knuckle. I'm going to tighten that down and I'll assemble it back in the car as one unit. Well, that worked. I got the pinch bolt in, the ball joint in, I got the top of the strut torqued down. I'm going to start slapping it together. I sure hope I didn't destroy the... As I was saying, I was hoping I didn't ruin the drive shaft or the drive axle, because it was hanging at a severe angle, and that's not good for it. But I'm slapping it back together, and the hard part is done. You guys know how to do the rest, so I'm going to leave it at there. One thing I did, I had to take the strut apart after I had it back together again, because I had the dust boot on upside down. So the dust boot should go like this, and the dust boot should cover the bottom edge down here. It should come all the way down, and I brought this part should go all the way up to that collar. I'm not done working on this one yet. Got it back together again, and I just had to test drive it. I was worried about that drive axle, and I'm not hearing any noise, no clunking, no clicking. Steering's fine. So the right side is done. I'm going to do the left side tomorrow, and when I do that, to save time, I'm just going to take the drive axle out for one of the first things I do. It's easier to loosen the drive axle nut before you jack it off the ground. You just use a breaker bar, and you can take the just take that chrome trim off the wheel, and then put the breaker bar on the drive nut, and then loosen it, and then take the wheel off, and then take the brakes off, and the ball joint, tie rod in. And it shouldn't take me 6 hours. Maybe I get it done in 2. Thanks for watching.